Well, I have had several bosses in my life, and the best bosses I've ever had have been mentors. Someone that doesn't talk to you, down to you, but sits beside you at the table and says, "Okay, roll up our sleeves. How can we make this work?" And really tries to help you be successful. That's a good boss in my mind. So my name is Laurie, and I have started this business called Rent a Rose, and it is a rent and return faux floral business, and basically we're catering towards weddings, also bridal showers, engagement parties, bachelor parties, even if you're having a really special dinner party and it just doesn't make sense to rent from one of the big companies, and you just want a small 15 people or 16 people of fare, and you want a beautiful tablescape with florals, we do that as well. So it's all things florals. Okay. But the reason that I got into this was because I love color, and I started out my journey in life at the University of Alberta, and I've got a degree in fine arts, and it was majoring in graphic design and painting. And I went on to become an art director of an advertising agency. And that adage they say, starving artist. Well, that's totally true. So I just wanted to look for something that kind of spoke to another area of my talent set, and that was to work more in business and in finance and in sales and in planning and process management. So I started working at Xerox, and that paid a lot better. And really kind of tapped into another skill set that I have, and I managed a team of upwards of 40 people, huge accounts, and so when I left Xerox, pandemic, and honestly no one was even turning on their photocopiers, and there was nobody at site, so I left Xerox and I found myself, okay, so what's next? And my son announced he was getting married. And I was immediately, ooh, project, yay. And so they said, okay, why don't you do, sort of the design of it and how it's going to look. And so I started looking at flowers, and I could not believe how expensive they were. And the environmentalist in me just thought, are you kidding me? I'm going to spend $4,000 on flowers I'm going to use for one day? I don't think so. That just seems like such a waste to me. So I started looking at faux flowers, and my experience in the past had been they didn't look really real, but once I started digging inside of it, I found some that did look really good. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do his wedding flowers in faux flowers, because then we can take them anywhere when I can make them ahead of time. And so that's where the idea was born. And as I started doing it, of course, because I'm a Capricorn, I thought, and a business person, how can I monetize this? So I thought, okay, I'm going to do more collections and sort of build this out. And how exciting, because I can not only build the flowers, but then I can learn how to build a website, and I can learn how to use social media that I hadn't used before. So I got into Instagram, and I was loving it. And I took my child on as a partner. Their name is Sydney, and they are a comedian, and just very much like, I feel like a mini me, and we just were like really, kind of getting really excited about the idea and working together on stuff. And so we worked for many, many months getting everything built up, and then we went live February 14th of this year. So it's a year in the building of all the florals and all the processes and all of the work behind the scenes, and then now we are ready for business. And I tell you, the market has been so welcoming of us, and the community of the sisterhood of all the women that are in the wedding industry. I've gone to photo shoots, and they're just, oh, well, have you tried this, or have you connected with this person? And I just think, oh, I'm home. Like, these people are great. The reason I called it Rent a Rose is because in my years and years of sales, I like to be very clear about what I'm presenting, what I'm proposing. And so I wanted the word rent in the title so people would know this is different. This is not just a florist shop. This is a different concept altogether, that you are actually renting for the event, so that you're gonna rent the flowers, but you're gonna keep the memories. Because why would you spend $1 million on flowers that you're only gonna use for one day? Why not have this beautiful, like, flower forward wedding that is half the cost of fresh florals, and also is good for the environment? It's just a win-win for me. So the reason I called it Rent a Rose was because I wanted to say rent, and I wanted to say it's flowers, and what is like the most well-known flower? It's a rose. Plus I like the alliteration of RR, you know, so it's R, the initials are RAR. Rawr. I love that. Hey, I have a plan for that. So I want to get this business to be very, very successful in making, you know, I have a number in mind, a very, very healthy stream of revenue, and then I want to franchise it. And because I've got a Lean Six Sigma green belt in process reengineering, everything that I'm doing, I am mapping the processes as I go, so that it becomes a very repeatable business to start up. And there are so many really talented women that are, and men, that are great with design and color, and they're looking for that business opportunity. And if I can give them a package and say, hey, this is how you can do it, and this is how much money you can make, I'd like to franchise this out to every city in Canada in 5 years. They're kind of silly. They're you know, I have small goals and then big goals. So right now my little small goals are I wanted to hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. I wanted to be interviewed. So, ching! I want to be in 4 wedding shows, so those are booked. Ching! I wanted to be showcased in one of those wedding shows, and through Kaya, who's just been absolutely wonderful, and my new BFF, I am being featured in the vendor show coming up this June 14th, and then again at the, and that's vendor facing, and then for a customer facing event, the Wedding Crash, that's coming up in October. 14 of my collections will be on showcase with a table designed right around the florals. So I think that'll be really exciting. So that was a goal. And I think the next goal I have is I want to move out of my home-based business, and I want to get a warehouse that I can drive a van right into and then pack on 1 level, because I'm living in a 4-level split, and I've got flowers and everything on 4 levels, and I'm up and down and up and down. And while that's great for closing my rings every day, it's exhausting. Right.
From flower shops.
There is, that I know of, there is not a company in Canada that does rent and return faux florals at the level that I'm doing it. There are companies in the United States that do this. Something Borrowed Blooms is one that I've looked at and thought, what a great business model. And it grew from just a small group of cousins to a huge enterprise. And I thought, okay, that's where I want to go with this. So it's a unique business model. And I think that it will resonate with a lot of people that want to have a lot of flowers for less money, and they're environmentally conscious.